Okay, I think we should be live. So let me just double check if everything is running smoothly with the stream. Right, I'm gonna drop a message in the free Telegram channel, and we're gonna have a look at the chart. We're gonna check out a couple of setups here. In the beginning of London session, still got about just a few minutes before the session starts, but let me just drop a message. I need to get the link. Okay. I'm also gonna drop a message on Twitter as well. For those of you visiting the channel for the first time, make sure to check out the links below the stream. Check out our website and find us on social media because we post a lot of valuable information. A lot of free setups as well, um, not just here on YouTube, but in our free Telegram also. So it is completely risk free. So make sure to join. Okay. Let's see if we're gonna have any momentum in the market, because I think we're gonna see something going on the first few minutes of the session. So I'm really curious to see how it's gonna develop. But euro dollar and pound dollar are gonna be the main instruments. Um, Now I've already dropped a video explaining the setups in more detail, and not just those few instruments here, but pretty much all the instruments in my watch list. It looks like we may have some pullbacks on the higher time frames, especially with the majors, which means that we can potentially look for a reversal in the opposite direction, going back to the upside. We've got a really strong bullish momentum here, which could be seen easily on the 15-minute time frame. So will that momentum continue higher? This is what we need to find out now in the beginning of the session. Okay. anyone who joins, let me know if there are any setups that you're looking at to potentially trade today during the London session. What instruments do you guys trade? We can check them out together. Obviously, I'm mainly focusing on the Forex instruments, um, but I don't mind. We may have a look at some other instruments as well. So let's see how we're coming into London on the 1 hour time frame. Now, if I have to be honest, let's see, I think we may drop slightly lower before price goes back to the upside. So it's just by looking on the 1 hour time frame, it would be really nice if we form some rejection wicks below this structure right here. If that happens, this is going to be great. Another one of those wicks will do for me to basically retest some lower levels here. That would be ideal. And then obviously we need to see some rejection of those levels as well in order to be looking for potential buy positions. But yeah, this is what I'm expecting to see here on pound dollar and euro dollar. Just another move to the downside is what I really want to see. Last week couldn't catch a trade on gold. I was right about the direction, but didn't get the pullbacks I needed in order to find an entry. Is it going to be the same this week? We'll see. And then I'm not really sure about the euro yen and pound yen, just because if I'm going to be taking any trades, I would rather focus on the major instruments, euro dollar and pound dollar. We do have some setups here as well, so we don't need to also trade euro yen and pound yen, if you know what I mean. I should probably add some bells for the London session opens here on the stream. That would be nice. Okay, so far so good. Started pushing down. Can any one of you guys leave a comment in the chat just so I can see that everything is running smoothly? You can actually hear me. Alright, hi there. Yeah, thanks for the support. I've got no one helping me out with this stuff, you know. So that's why I need some confirmation from you guys. Okay. Now a good setup would be if we take out this structure right here, but then we reverse before we break below this momentum candle. So anywhere within this area, that would be a good setup, I would say. And if we go straight to the upside, then I'm going to be looking for price to break above some previous structure in order for me to start looking for entries. Um, but other than that, I'll probably not look to trade anything, to be honest. And if you look at the higher time frames, there's more, I would say, more bullish momentum on euro dollar, just because we can clearly see we've broken above previous structure. Um, Similar price action to pound dollar, but not as strong and convincing as it is on euro dollar. So if we drop down to the 15-minute time frame here, well, we've got pretty much the same setup. So I'm just going to place some horizontal levels here. Right, here we go. You see, that's the thing, because like I said, if you look at the higher time frames, we've got more bullish pressure on euro dollar, and so when they're moving in the opposite direction, those two pairs, you can see that there's more a stronger downside push here on pound dollar rather than euro dollar. So if those pairs are going to be taking out the lows, it's going to happen on GU first. Yeah, not much going on with gold. But for me personally, it doesn't make a lot of sense to enter a long trade. We've just taken out the previous high. We're literally at the highest point of, this move right here. And so for me to start looking for long trades now, it is quite risky. Okay. If any one of you is looking to trade on the yen pairs, whether it be dollar yen, euro yen, or pound yen, if you're not sure about the setup, just leave it because we've got interest rate decision from Bank of Japan at the end of the week, and so you're gonna have a more clear situation on the yen pairs next week. So if you're not sure, if you're not confident about the setup, just find something else to trade or step away from the charts. I personally think we're still bearish on euro dollar, maybe reach previous high and then drop down, but we'll wait for confirmation first. Yeah, of course, yeah. So yeah, if you look at the 4 hour, the daily time frame, obviously we're still bearish. The thing is, let me have a look at this one. So we've got the first impulse about 175 pips, and then the second impulse pretty much equal to the first one. We're still technically bearish. It's just the thing is, I was expecting kind of a deeper pullback. Like if you look at the daily time frame, back when we were testing those previous lows, right around here, that was I think beginning of December. I really thought that we're gonna see that deeper pullback, and it's usually December when stuff like that happens. The market kind of slow down, especially toward the end of September, and so I was expecting a lot of, you know, market participants to close long-term positions, collect profits and stuff like that. So that normally leads to pullbacks, and so that's why I expected that we're gonna have kind of a deeper pullback here. You know, when we were testing this previous low, but instead of that, the market just broke below that and it just pushed through that strong support right here, pushing further down, and so would made a lot of sense if we see deeper pullback. We've also got some equal highs here, and whenever we've got those, we usually take them on. There's quite a lot of orders above those equal highs. And then with this strong bullish momentum right here, it just makes me think there's going to be at least another upside leg before we continue down. Now the other thing is, if we're looking at the 15-minute time frame here, I just played the Fibonacci just to see where those key levels are, and we've technically tested the 61.8 already. So something else that could potentially happen is we can just form a higher low now and continue higher. But I wouldn't be taking any trades right here. I want to see price at least breaking above some previous structure. So let's say this one, this previous high. And that will still be a risky setup, by the way. 1.2395 will be the first target here on pound dollar. Okay. But yeah, I was a bit surprised to see that euro dollar had more strength yesterday during that push than pound dollar. It's usually pound dollar, or it's maybe because I'm trading pound dollar more. But whenever I see there's more volume, more volatility in the euro dollar pair, I'm usually surprised. Um, Even though it's probably the most traded instrument out there. Yeah, gold is still not doing much. At least we can see some movement in the majors, but Do get some rejection wicks around this level, but that's not enough for me. Something to keep in mind though. In order for me to go long on gold, I really need to see price pushing down and not just below those wicks. I want to see a better, a deeper pullback here. Literally just trading at the highest point of this previous high. We're at the peak of it. So if there's going to be any pullback, well, it should be now. But that's the thing with gold, you never know. It could just surge to the upside without any signals before that whatsoever. So I miss trades on gold all the time just because I'm waiting for some extra confirmation and then price just leaves without me. But that's okay. Hmm. Yeah, kind of a slow price action today. May get a bit more movement later on, especially during the US session. Mm. Right, so I'm not doing anything till price doesn't break out above or below this channel right now. So I'm just gonna have to wait, but I really want to see if there's gonna be a breakout. I want to see that in the first hour of the session. So it's nearly 10:30 here, my local time. I want to see a breakout by 11 o'clock. And what's going on with Bitcoin? Really choppy price action here. Now long term, crypto with Trump should be we should be bullish. But right now, and especially yesterday, with those strong moves, gotta wait for the market to calm down in order to find some good high probability setups. Yeah, I think it's more likely to see pound yen and euro yen actually continuing higher. Yeah, let's see if we're going to be able to tap into that level right around 1.2225 and see how price action will react around there if we come down here. And so that's the thing, whenever I'm not sure, so let's say I want to see price pushing down to a certain level, just like in this case. If I'm not sure whether I should be taking a long trade, I'm just going to wait for price to form some higher structure, okay? And whenever I see that we now have again higher high and higher low, I would expect that this is kind of a confirmation for me. So you can then wait for another pullback, let's say, and then look for buying opportunities, or you can just wait for break and retest. But whatever makes you feel comfortable, because before I was waiting for price to push to a certain level. As soon as it gives me a candle in the opposite direction, I would enter a buy position. And so what happens is the market goes back to the upside and it takes you out and it actually continues lower. And it has happened to me so many times. So now I have to wait for some further confirmation, something like this, or let's say some rejection wicks like this, anywhere around this level, and then you see the next bullish candle being much stronger than those previous candles right here. And so if you get this type of pattern around a key level, then you can, look for trades. I'm going to delete that for now. I'm not even sure if price is going to drop down to retest this previous structure right here. Looks like we're heading towards those zones, those lower levels we're expecting to see, but still quite a slow price action, to be honest. We could potentially see some more momentum later on. Okay, about to see the breakout here on euro dollar. Same on pound dollar, obviously. Yeah, I need a lot more movement on gold. Really want to see price much lower than current price levels. If we manage to come down to around 2712, 1110 level, and we see some strong rejections around that level, I could potentially look for buying opportunities depending on how price action looks, depending on what the setup looks like down here. But before that, I don't think so. Hey Venceswava, are you still in the stream? So what else are you looking at apart from euro dollar? Any other instruments? Okay, I understand. Have you seen our free beginners course? And when you say you started trading recently, how recent is that? One pair at a time is a good strategy. 1, 2 pairs, depending on what time frames you're looking at. Obviously, if you're looking at the lower time frames, it's probably best to focus on one pair, just like you're doing now. If you're only looking to trade on the 1 hour, the 4 hour time frames, you can also include some more pairs if you want to. What tends to happen is we get so confused because of the correlation between those pairs. Because let's say some of them they usually have positive correlation, but uh, that's not every time. There are times when that correlation changes, and so especially when there's a lot of volatility in the market, you may see pairs that are usually moving together moving against each other, and it gets really confusing. So trading less pairs, it's usually better. Okay, that's awesome. So what time frames are you looking to trade? Okay, I see. So you don't trade it, but you rather hold it. I assume. Okay. Yes, doing a top-down analysis is probably the most important part of the technical analysis as a whole. So what got you into Forex? Did you started trading and looking at crypto first, and then you thought you might as well start looking at the Forex market? Or what was the deal there? Or did you first start looking at the Forex market and then went into crypto? do like those types of candles on the higher time frames though. The longer the wick, the better for me. You see one of those candles, if I usually see one of those candles at a key level and that happens on the 4 hour time frame, I'll probably take an entry right away. I recently found out that swing trading suits me better about Forex. I hear it's best choice for the beginning of trading and crypto as well. As we all know, it's going to stay, so I wanted to try that as well. Alright. Yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm not sure about whether the Forex market is best for beginners, but this, I mean, swing trading strategies are definitely the best choice. I mean, I'm currently looking at the lower time frames just because I'm doing a stream. So obviously, if I'm only gonna be looking at the 4 hour time frame, I have to do, I don't know, an 8 hour stream, so the whole thing makes sense. But just because I'm doing a stream for about a couple of hours, maybe less than that, that's why I'm looking at the lower time frames. But my main strategy is on the 1 and the 4 hour time frames, and it's a lot more stressful to trade the 5, the 1 minute, the 15 minute. Yeah, 15 minute is kind of alright, but it tends to give some fake signals more than what you will get on the higher time frames. So yeah, stick to the 1 hour, the 4 hour time frame. I would say that's probably the best choice. And you know, the whole thing with trading, it just takes a lot of discipline and patience, because you only need a few months really to learn how to plot key levels in the chart, how to read price action, you know, to learn how what the candle tells you. That really takes just a few months time to get used to it. But then it's the psychology around trading, and you know, your state of mind whenever you're trading, because if you're stressed out, if something is going on in your personal life, and then you want to trade, most of the time you're probably not gonna take any good decisions whatsoever, especially when, you know, um, something else is going on outside of trading in your life and that stresses you out. So I've learned whenever I've got periods like this to, I may be looking at the chart, but I know that I'm not in the right state of mind to take any trades. I mean, these are lessons that I've learned after a few years in trading, not just 1 year. But hopefully gold continues pushing down. Now this is what I'm talking about. So this is the previous 1 hour candle. And then the current 1 hour candle, at one point it was all the way down here. So it was looking like it's going to engulf the previous 1 hour candle, which was going to be a really bearish signal. But it looks like by the end of that 1 hour, we're going to pull back all the way up here, maybe even close as a bullish candle. And if that happens, we're probably going to see some momentum coming in the market, some bullish momentum. So I really want to see how this 1 hour candle is going to close. Yep, very similar price action here on Euro Yen. I think psychology is key as well. Been there where I just want to make money and consider my state of mind and lost a lot, but I learned with time and mistakes. I do have a journal for my trades too. That is great. That's the right way to do it. That is definitely the right way to do it. Yeah, in the beginning, it's very, very difficult to manage your emotions, especially when you're trading live. And so you normally start with a small account, something that you don't mind if you lose the account. It's not an amount of money that bothers you, and that's how it should be really. But a lot of people put in all of their savings, and so that's when trading becomes very, very stressful. Trading it live. But there's something else as well. There's literally just two things that could be wrong if, let's say, you're trading and you're stressing out about your position. Let's say you enter a trade and then the market goes against you, and then you start wondering whether you should be in that trade at all. There's mainly two things that happens. Either you're trading with higher risk and you're basically risking money that you cannot afford to lose. That's one reason, probably number one. And the second reason is that either you don't have a plan, a trading strategy, so you basically enter random trades, you don't know what the outcome is going to be, and so that's why you're stressing out, or you have a plan but you didn't follow it. And these are the main reasons why trading becomes more stressful than it should be. Of course, even if you follow your plan, even if you have a back-tested strategy, you've got proven results for the past few months, maybe even a couple of years, you still have losses, but it is not as stressful. I mean, trading becomes much easier when you're not over risking, you're not exposing yourself to too much risk, and when you've got a simple strategy that you know how to follow. And the simpler your strategy is, the easier it is to follow it. Because if you have like a very complicated strategy where you're looking at at a different signal on each time frame, you're looking for different confirmations, doing your top down analysis, you then have 100 other conditions as to whether you should enter the trade or not. It is very difficult to follow that strategy. Sometimes the market is moving fast, you have to react fast, so you have to be a fast decision maker. And so when you have a simple strategy, that's when it works best. Let's see the 1 hour candles. Yeah, not quite a bullish candle here on pound yen, and on euro yen, but looks like we didn't have enough strength to push below this previous 1 hour candle. Yeah, I still think we're gonna push below this support that we're currently trading at here on pound dollar. Because right now I don't have an entry. This is just a price action that I do not want to work with. So I want to see price pushing lower. Yeah, gold can shoot up from current price levels. Can just go to the upside, but I'm not looking for any entries right now. I want to see price to at least test this previous structure right here, and then I can potentially start looking for potential setups. But until then, I'm not trading at current price levels. I see pound yen is gaining some momentum, but like I said earlier, I was expecting that euro yen and pound yen will actually continue higher. What would be a target for you if you get in a long position on euro dollar? So let's have a look. Now, obviously, because I'm looking for potential entries here on the lower time frames, I'm not going to be looking for targets from the 4-hour chart. right? We don't want to be greedy. So if I manage to get into a trade anywhere, you know, within this zone, just below the horizontal level, so just below 1.03, 52, 53, and anywhere above 1.0315, if I manage to get into a long trade down here, I'm going to be looking for targets at previous highs, right? Now, obviously, we do also have kind of a long-term target, and we've got this strong resistance level right here, and then we also have 1.05. What was it? I need to check out the Fibonacci level, but it's around 1.0570. So up here are the previous highs. Let me just. Now these are long-term targets. So if you're looking for entries on the 1 hour chart, I would say previous highs right here, around 1.05, 70, 05, 60. But since I'm looking for trades here on the lower time frames, I'm going to be looking for not more than 1 to 3. So just for example, right, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but just for example, if we manage to get into a trade like that, 1 to 2.5, 1 to 2.7, this is looking pretty decent. But that's only if we get price to come all the way down here, which I'm not really sure whether it will happen. But you see, even if I have some sort of a rejection around this level with a wick like this, a rejection wick like that, and then we see a bullish candle closing, this is still a valid entry. So this trade could potentially look something like this as well, just as an example, right? Just over 1 to 2, that still works for me. Yeah, obviously I've got a very similar setup here on pound dollar, but I want to see price coming into some lower levels here. Still trading around the lows here. We haven't seen that breakout yet. Same thing on euro dollar. Yeah, you can see price action slowing down as it is coming towards this previous low. You can see the first move towards the downside, and then the second one, the third one, they're getting smaller and smaller every time, which is usually a signal for a potential reversal. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm not really sure whether price will push any lower, um, but let's see. You know, when you're looking at the lower time frames, not everything makes sense. Whereas I would consider this a much stronger signal for a potential reversal if that will happen on the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart. But since this is on the 5 minute time frame, we can easily see another massive drop to the downside without an issue. But yeah, it's something to watch out, you know, in your own trading, because that helps a lot. This is a good signal. We're looking at each move towards a certain direction, either bullish or bearish, and you can also measure them as well. So let's say this first downside impulse, 57 pips. Looking at the next one, we've got around 38 pips, and then the next one is just about 20 pips. So like I said, each one of them getting smaller and smaller. So basically bearish momentum is kind of losing control. And so we would normally expect for price to go in the opposite direction, because obviously the market meets resistance, or excuse me, support around those levels. Looks like we're having some issues breaking below this level, but I still think, you know, we may actually do that. Now here's GJ, and if that 30-minute candle closes back up here again, basically above this previous 30-minute candle and also above the one before that, that will be a good strong signal for a potential buys, because we've already got the momentum kicking in right here. We then have a little bit of a pullback, price not being able to break below this momentum candle right here, and then gathering momentum once again. But obviously we need to see that push higher. This is all quite risky, by the way, because I'm looking at the lower time frames, as you can see. So do not take this as a trading signal. I'm just thinking out loud on my mic. So that's all. I'm not saying you should enter a trade here or there. Just sharing my ideas, my view of the market. All right, I think this is going to be pretty much for today. So yeah, watch out. If we get that breakout to the downside, then we're going to be looking for potential reversals before price breaks below this momentum candle right here. So basically anywhere above the level of 1.0310. And just wait for some extra confirmation. Do not enter on the first entry signal that you see. Wait and see if price is actually going to start gaining momentum in the opposite direction. Um, that would usually be a good entry signal, or basically confirmation that the market is actually reversing directions. Same thing on pound dollar. I want to see price breaking below this structure right here. Once it does, I want to see how it will react down here at those levels on the break and retest of those levels. But yeah, this is pretty much the setup that I'm looking at. Yeah, thank you, Venceslava. Thanks for the chat. That was great. I'll see you guys in the next video or next stream. I'm not sure which one is coming out sooner, but yeah, whoever is watching the stream or watching the recording of the stream, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Check out all the links below the video, and I'll see you in the next one.